What's going on, everyone? Chris Beans here with Bowler's Rant, bringing you 2 new updates from Storm and Roto. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons and turn on those notifications. I do appreciate your support of the channel. Well, 2 blockbuster releases and probably the worst kept secret in bowling for months because they did hit the overseas market first. But lo and behold, we finally have the DNA Coil and the Optimum Idol. Asymmetric pearl on the left, symmetrical solid on the right, and both these releases have all the good stuff in them. All the tech, all the features, bells, soup to nuts. You got it. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Over to the interwebs. Beans, what are we talking about? Well, first we're going to revisit the DNA Coil, which I covered back in October of 2023. I told you guys 80% to 90% this was coming stateside, and it would be stupid for Storm to ignore this ball motion because that's how freaking good it is, okay? And we're going to revisit some of that because I've got the video of Belmo throwing it queued up, ready to go. But first, the specs, the test drive, right? We can finally do this on the website. The pour looks good. Not going to lie. I said before, and I'll say it again, this logo, it hits the, this really does the mark. I like it, right? And coil, right? This is about design intent. This thing is going to be the skid snap delight, right? So what are we talking about here? Well, let's get into the specs. This ball has the Exo Pearl Reactive cover stock and the Super Coil core, the finish Reactive gloss. The ball color is Scarlet, Persian Blue, and Raven. Cool, interesting description there. Orange Pineapple Slush is the fragrance. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I'm sure it smells delicious. And the number's at 15 pounds, 2.47 RG with a .053 differential, 0.023 asymmetric differential. So, translation, it's going to start up early. It's got a lot of flare potential, and this intermediate differential means you're going to have a lot of torque and boom into the pocket. All right? Now, the design intent, they were talking about how Exo Reactive was created for the slickest of slicks, but a cleaner look is sometimes required, and that's why they did Exo Pearl, was made brilliant with the lustrous Reactive gloss finish. Lustrous. That's a very interesting word. And they're saying it basically complements the predecessor's DNA, so you're gonna get the 2-in-1 combo if you like asymmetrics. They're also saying, because of chemical friction, porosity, blah, 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 that there's no over-under reactions expected here. Now, I could probably make a case on why that would probably happen in my house because we use volumes of oil and it's clipped on the sides, but that's just my house and not like most others. And they're saying it provides a lot of room for forgiveness because it reads the midlane more than most. Okay, cool. And they're saying that the Super Coil core has a lot of mass built around its equator. So, translation, they're saying you're going to get basically a very large footprint in the lane, lots of continuation in the back. What does that look like? Well, I'm gonna tell you. Here we go. Here's Belmo. Don't take my word for it. Right between 5th and 6th arrow, and boom! Look at that motion. You get the continuation. It keeps going left. Now, granted, he's got 500 revs, but you can tame this down for whatever you feel like that looks like for your shot, right? But it is pretty good. Let's look at this one more time, right? He's going to throw it. Here's another shot. He's playing deep. It's a pearl on the oil, and bang! That is what you want. And of course, that was back in October, and then Storm did release their teaser video. I like these because that showcases the shelf appeal, which you guys know I'm very big on that. And this ball looks really good going down the lane, right? It looks great. This is a premium piece of equipment, and I'm sold. Like, it looks fantastic. There's not much more to say other than when we get the 7 ways, 8 ways, 9 ways, whatever ways Storm releases for their video, I'm sure it's going to be good, and I can't wait to see everybody throw this down the lane. Coming soon, I'm sure. Now, let's talk about the one that I think people are probably even more excited about. The Optimum Idol from Roto. I said Idol, I meant Idol from Roto. I'm very excited if you can't tell. Lots of caffeine inside of me because I just got done working out. But the Idol, the original, was my favorite. You had a bunch of other ones, the Idol Pro, the Idol Pearl, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not saying those were bad balls. I think they were great balls. The Cosmos, I think, was probably one of my favorites, second to the original. But the original, that was my stuff, right? Because it had microtracks, and that's one of my favorite covers of all time. Well, guess what? We're back with microtracks. We've got microtracks solid solid and AI core technology around that very famous Icon core. Okay, now back to the specs. This is going to be pretty easy. Microtrack solid, Icon plus AI core. That's a lot of syllables. Heliotrope purple. That's very interesting. And I've had some people hit me up saying they're not sure how they feel about this purple versus the magenta. Time will tell, because I've heard that color can impact ball motion. The finish, 2000 grit Abalone. The numbers at 15 pounds, 2.47 RG with an 056 differential. If I remember correctly, the original was 249 and it was an 052. So this AI core technology is going to push the RG down and I think the differential up. So this is what you get, right? Now, they're saying the cover, this version of Microtracks is fully loaded nanoparticle, right? Creates lots of traction without any of the losing any of the response down lane. There is the flyer, of course. So if I'm reading this correct, which by the way, if I come back down here, I feel like there's a yes, Microtracks, which is micro nanoparticle traction. Okay, that's the fully qualified name for this cover. You're going to be able to throw this in the oil and you're going to be able to see more continuation probably than the original, because the original sometimes would come up a little flat if you didn't have the hand of God, right? So what does this look like going down the lane? Well, I see a short on from Bowling Kid 1003 throwing this two-handed. Look at this. Boom. Very nice continuation, right? That's pretty good stuff. I'm not going to lie. You know, that's a standard angle you see a lot of house players play at. I am all about that motion. I love solids. I love sanded solids. And I love symmetrical sanded solids. 3 S's that make my friggin' day. Bang, 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 bang. Look at that motion. Looking great. And then also for the strokers, here is a young lady throwing this around second and third, first arrow, right? Gets the kick, gets the carry. And then there is a gentleman throwing this also. Again, here we go. I'm going to play some stroker bowling. It's not always about the high revers, right? Between second and first arrow. Not bad. Not bad at all. So you got basically a very nice ball motion that can cover a variety of different bowling styles. To me, this is all about versatility, sport shot, house shot, granny shot, you know, pogo shot. Pick your favorite shot and you're off into the races. It's all about matching up your layout with your bowling style to maximize what you're going to get out of this bowling ball. Looking fantastic. Now, back to the shelf appeal, okay? I hate videos like this where I have to choose between two amazing shelf appeals, okay? I've always loved the Idol logo. I think it's phenomenal. I'm curious where they came up with the word Optimum. I'm trying to have to catch one of those Morning Bolt podcasts. I'm sure they'll get some information on there from Schlem. And at the same time, I like the contrast of the DNA coil. So I'm going to call it a tie, right? Because the Idol's super classic and this DNA coil, it's looking pretty tough. So that brings us to the end. Of course, universal release date for these balls will be in the video description. And if you want to learn more about these balls and where you can pick them up, I've got links in the video where you can grab them on bowlersmart.com. Oof, a lot of great information today. But what do you think? Do you like the DNA coil? Do you like the Optimum Mile? Which one did you like the ball motion on? And if you were to get one, what layout would you go with? Drop me a comment, let me know. Let's continue the conversation. More updates are coming, and until then, bowl well.